Hey everybody, here we are with the grip once again, and we have a chance to visit with longtime big leaguer. He's a pitcher. He's Lynn. He's back with St. Louis Cardinals, of course. It's good to see you, man.
Good to be back.
It's good to have you back. Always good to see you. Let's talk about your grip, man, because you are a guy. They say he just pumps fastballs. Right. So let me show me the grip.
Yeah, your basic four-seam fastball. That's the everything kind of bases off that as I go. Whether it's going to be, you kind of switch over to the cutter the next pitch, and then you can go over to the curveball, and then after that, it's kind of into the.
You throwing a splitter?
Throwing a splitter now. That's the old way to do things, right? The older you get, you just start spreading fingers out and throwing it, and then your basic two-seam, which you're able to just kind of get go. So it's just keeping it simple, knowing what you do, and then it's just manipulation with your grip and not changing your arm slot or anything like that.
For you. Big guy, everybody thinks you have to pump it at 96, 90. You were always 92, 93 as far as your fastball, but was never in the same place twice.
Yeah, I learned a long time ago, hitters don't like things on multiple sides of the plate going multiple different directions. So if you can figure out how to throw multiple pitches with the same speed variance and same arm slot on both sides of the plate, it just gives them a different look that they're so used to everything being hard and then slow. If you got, like I said, I've got 3 different pitches that are within 4 to 5 miles an hour that go 3 different directions. And if you do that on both sides of the plate, they got to cover everything. They don't like it.
Yeah, that's funny you bring it up in that manner, because there's some guys who say, I can't go out here and get that pitch. There are other guys who think they can go get it, and those are the guys that get themselves out.
Yes, and you let them do that. And then you tease them a little bit more, but while they do it, they try to go get it, then it opens up the other side of the plate where you can run them off in there. And then if they expand the plate for you, then they're doing you a favor.
You welcome that. So let's talk about the grip with your 2 fingers. How important is the thumb?
The thumb it's like when you're driving, right? That thumb's got to go. So it depends on which way you want to make it move. You can go different ways with it to make it. If you want to cut it a little bit more, you tuck that thumb. If you want to get more ride on it, you keep that thumb over here. So that does a lot for you. It's a way you can stay behind the ball too. If you want to, if you're going to throw it, to be honest with you, you can have the same grip, move your thumb, throw it 3 miles an hour softer, and do a little something like that. So all these things today, they're like, oh, you need to do this, this, and this. If you just do this with a little different seam catch, you can throw the same pitch, but it does something different.
See, this is why I love talking to you, because you make pitching simple.
It's easy
compared to people who make it complicated. Because and for you came in the game at a time where technology and the analytics were not as big as it is now.
Right.
And I wonder how much have you been able to take away from that to apply, but also stay with your own values?
I see. What I originally learned was all the things back in the day. They're like, oh, he's got deception. He's got, back in the day it was the heavy late life, right? And that's spin rate. So what you did was you learned what you do well, why you do it well. So for me, I always had deception. I've always had good spin rate, and I always had I had a weirdly low arm slot for someone my size, and it made it hard to. They call approach angle now. So guys, and nowadays all they did is they just put numbers and a terminology on something that people that played the game already knew.
Common sense already knew about.
So what I did is I learned, okay, hey, this is what this means and this is why, and I already knew that by playing, and then you're able to put a number or a visual with it, and it's been how I've morphed it into as I've gone on. And then what you do is you learn the hitters, like, hey, what are you trying to do if this guy, because they'll go change their swing to a certain thing. And then by doing that, they'll tell you what they're trying to do in the box. They'll tell you what pitch they're trying to get to, and then you just show the other one.
You in the clubhouse with some guys, Sonny Gray, Kyle Gibson, Miles Mike, all guys that have been around for a while. How much fun is that for you to be in the room with guys that you played against with different teams or maybe played with? But you guys can still talk pitching, and you guys all have stories about people.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. I mean, the only person I technically have been a teammate is Matt's. Because Miles and I were teammates on Team USA. This is our Gibby and I 3rd team together, and then Sonny and I 2nd team together. So we all do things a little different. We all have a different way of going about getting ready for games, approaching games, pitch repertoire, anything. So that makes it fun, right? You just bounce things off. You talk to younger guys, you're able to kind of pick their brain, and each guy can bring something different to a new player, but also like we've been around long enough and everybody's seen a lot of things that you kind of approach the game the same way mentality wise to win. And then, you know, that's what it's about. We got a group that wants to win, and that's all they care about.
So when you first broke in, because now you're taking care of kids, so who took care of you?
Man, I got lucky. My first spring training, you show up and you have Chris Carpenter, Jake Westbrook, Kyle Lose, Adam Wainwright, and then you had, you know, that's the guys I had for the first 4 or 5 years of my career. And then John Lackey came, and then I go to
The true Rusty Nail.
yeah, and then but you like John Lackey was the first guy that I remember everyone was like, man, that guy's a jerk, right? And then as a teammate, he was the greatest dude ever. Took care of guys like he was like your big brother. So like I was able to learn a lot from every person. And then you go to New York and you're with CC, who's like one of the greatest dudes of all time. So what you did over time is you took a little bit from each person, and then things that you didn't quite take to, you learn from, because maybe there's a guy that you approach that you can apply, but there's also a guy that takes it a little differently. So you have to learn the guys that you're trying to talk to too. And that's the best thing, is just having conversation and being organic and creating a friendship, and then you're able to help them. If you go to a guy nowadays, or even back then, if you go to a guy and be like, hey, here's how you do things, we're grown men, right? We don't want like another dude to tell us how to do our business. So, but it's like, hey, I see that you might be struggling in this. I've had problems here before too. If you ever want to talk, boom, done. That's simple.
You walk away from
and then
it.
If they
you
come to
you,
yeah, and then you just kind of ask them questions, and then let them answer things for themselves by you giving them little tidbits.
You know, I've learned in the game, people like yourself, you don't go up and tell a guy, hey, you need to do this and that. You roll it out there. And let them ask you the questions, and compare to try and bearing down on a guy who may not be able to understand what you're talking about. Yeah,
I've likened it to raising your kids, right? If you make it their idea, they do it, but if you tell them what to do, they won't, right? So that's the way, and that's the way I was too. If you told me, hey, you're going to do this, and I'm going to tell you real quick, beat it, yeah. But it's like, but you can also, what I learned over time is, one guy can do things one way and another way, and it might not work for you, but you learn from it, and you might actually be able to use that to help somebody else. So the old terminology, you know, learn something new every day. You either learn it doesn't work for you, you either learn it does work for you, but it actually might work for someone else later. So there's always different ways you can help people that might not even work for you, but it might work for that person.
I can't wait to see you have fun this year. I was hoping that we would have picked you up last year. Ladies and gentlemen, he's Lance Lynn, the ultimate Rusty Nail, but still a good guy along the way. Thanks for the grip, sir.
Nope, thank you.
He's Lance. I'm Claibs. We're done.